Today we're going to do an equipment-free, Pilates-based flow movement class. We're going to start on your hands and knees, and although we're equipment-free, you may want some knee padding or some wrist padding, or later when we're on your back, you may want head padding. You can do all of that with just a towel. So if you just have a towel or a blanket that you can fold up and use, grab that, and let's get to the mat. You're going to start on your hands and knees. You are going to walk your hands forward and your knees back, so the hands are not underneath the shoulders. They are forward and the knees are back. And you're going to press down through the hands, and you're going to press and shift back, allowing the sits bones to widen, lifting your belly away from your thighs. I'm pushing down through my arms as I do this. Then you're going to pull forward into a little kneeling plank, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other a little bit, squeezing the glutes, pushing the ground away. And then you're going to stretch back again. This time when you stretch back, take one hand across to the other hand and stretch there and breathe. And then separate the hands, pull forward into that kneeling plank. I'm thinking about pulling the mat underneath me with my hands. And then stretch back. Take the other hand across. Stretch there and breathe. Pushing the hands down. If it feels too tight in your shoulders, you can pad up by making little spider hands there. Separate the hands, pull forward, and just hang out in that plank, pushing the ground away, lifting the belly up, hugging those inner thighs towards each other, hugging the arms towards each other, and then walk the hands back and the knees forward. Then we're going to do cat-cow with some extra movement. So we're going to do like a circular cat-cow. So you're going to start by going to the side. So you're going to take your head and your tail to one side. Then you're going to slowly round, taking your head and your tail down towards the floor, stretching your back. Go around to the other side, looking over the other shoulder, and then up to the ceiling with the head and the tail. 2 more in that direction. And breathing. And taking your time with this. And think about the length versus the most extreme curl and the most extreme arch. Think more about the space that you're creating between your head and your tail and all of your vertebrae. And then come center, go the other direction. Look over the other shoulder and tail. Look down. We most likely chose the side that you prefer the best. And keep circling around. Pushing the floor away with your hands. Woo. Okay. Well, there's a moment there where it gets a little sticky. One more. Breathing. And then coming center into a happy medium. Make sure your hands are still underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And you're going to slide one leg back. You're just going to keep your toes on the ground. You're thinking, did I shift or did I keep center? Can I keep my belly, my ribs, my chest, my head nice and light by pushing the ground away with my hands and my shin? Then you're going to reach through that extended leg and lift and lower it 5 times. 4, and I'm thinking about that length, that reach through my leg. 3, 2, we're going to add on to this. 1, stay there. I want you to reach your leg and aim your breastbone out, but without losing your belly. So it's a little bit like cow, but like the longest cow spine you could possibly do. So extension of your spine, but very light and connected, supported, maybe is a better word. You're going to round, pulling your knee in, and you're going to round your spine. Cat. And then you're going to stretch out, reach that leg, lift it, reach your breastbone out, keep your waistline and your belly supported. Pull in, rounding. Notice how much you're shifting side to side. Try and find center. Going out and up. And then in. And then bring that leg down. Send the other leg back. Press to the arms, press to the shin. Lift and lower 5. Try to keep level and long and even. 2. Lift 3. 4. Hold 5. Add that little reach of your breastbone, your head, eyes look out. Pull the belly in, lengthen both sides of the waist, and then you bend that knee and you round. You curl your pelvis under, you lift your spine up, you drop your head towards your knee. And then you reach out and you breathe. And then you round. And then one more, you reach out. You let it ripple through your spine all the way through your chest. And then you slowly round, coming in. And then bring both knees down. And from there, you're going to walk your knees back and your hands a little forward. Come forward into that kneeling plank. Keep your belly lifted as you slowly lower yourself down onto the floor. If your lower back does not feel great here, you, again, can use your towel and pad up between your pelvis and your ribcage just to give yourself a little bit more length there. If you're fine here, great. I do want you to wiggle. So I want you to wiggle around and create the most space that you can between your pelvis and your ribcage. And you want to think about pushing the front of the pelvis. I specifically will usually think about the front of my hip joint kind of pushing into the ground so my hamstrings and glutes fire just a little bit. Stack the hands, glue your forehead to your hands. From there, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and then shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Lift your elbows off the mat. Breathe in there with the elbows up and the shoulders down. Breathe in, and on your exhale, hug your waistline in. You'll feel your belly tense against the mat. Sometimes you can even lift your belly off the mat, getting a scoop there, but I want you to just do as much as you feel like you can do. And levitate the head on those hands off the mat, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your belly engaged, keep your legs engaged. Hold there, and then lower down. Let your elbows rest. Exhale, belly, shoulders down, elbows lift, levitate. So I'm not coming up crazy high. I want you to stay long. I want you to think more like an arrow than a bow. Shoulders away from the ears. Get longer and lower down. One more like that. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, shrug the shoulders down. Lift the elbows up. Pull the belly and the waist in. Engage so you're pushing those hips forward. Keep the shoulders down as you levitate up. Now hold there. Reach your arms out to the side and squeeze them towards your body as close as you can get those arms to the sides of your body as possible, particularly the pinky edge of your hand. From there, make sure your shoulders aren't rounding forward. You're going to really scroll those shoulders away from your ears and away from the mat, getting your shoulder blades to connect on your rib cage. Then all you're going to do is open your arms out a little bit on an inhale. Exhale, draw the belly in. Squeeze the arms as tight to the body as possible and lift up just a little bit. And as you lift up, your breastbone may lift a little bit. Inhale, maybe you lower the breastbone, open the arms out. Exhale, super straight arms. Pull those arms super, super straight. Pull them in and then a little bit up. And then lower down. And squeeze the arms in and up. Inhale, open those arms out. Exhale, squeeze the arms in and up. Opening out, last one. Just make sure you're not dumping into your low back. Keep that belly lifting, in and up. Now hold there. Lift your kneecaps off the ground, not your toes, your kneecaps. Then slowly bend your knees with those lifted kneecaps and bend like you're gonna kick your feet towards your butt. Keep the knees lifted, keep the feet pumping up. Heels will touch there, and you're just going to hold there with those arms. And then slowly straighten the legs out. Let your head come down, let your arms come down. Look to one side. Take a moment there. Breathe. It's like a deconstructed double or a deconstructed leg kick, right? So we're going to come back to center. So instead of like the full double leg kick, we're breaking it down a little bit. Get the arms tight to the body, reaching and lifting. So your upper back, the back of your arm, your shoulder blade onto your rib cage, so lower trapezius, triceps is what I was trying to say. Long head of your tricep and your lat muscle are working, but your belly's still going to lift, and then your legs are lifting, and then they bend. You flex those feet, heels are together. You're going to basically slow kick towards your butt. Take your head the other way and straighten the legs and lower everything down. Breathe in, lift up with those arms and your upper back. Bring your head center. Get those arms squeezing in and up. Belly pulling in. Lift the legs up, slowly bend, kicking towards your butt. And then straighten and lower down. One more. Engage the belly. Bring the head up and center. Bring the arms tight to the body and up. Slowly bend. Where's the belly? Where's the glute work? And kick. So you can really flex there. I'm not really flexing very hard. And straighten and down. From there, take your hands under your shoulders. Imagine there's a spatula underneath your belly that you're going to lift yourself right off the mat. Stretch back into a child's pose, or maybe a modified child's pose with just the butt up and the head down, whatever works for you. And then you're going to come forward and you're going to rest on your side. Line up with the back edge of your mat from head to feet. We're going to start with the knees bent. You're going to lengthen through that top hip, really getting length both in the bottom waist and the top waist. Optional for any or all of this is to come up and prop on your elbow there. So I'm like just on the upper arm part of my elbow, pushing down. So I'm not collapsed, I'm pushing down. So all of this is engaged too. That's an option for you. You can also just keep the head down, whatever you prefer. You are going to lift your top leg up and bring it forward and turn it in. And as you turn it in, you want to make sure your pelvis didn't rock. So you're going to keep that stable. And you're going to lower, and then you're going to lift, and you're going to turn out. As you lift, you'll turn out, bringing that leg a little back. Drop that foot down. So my top foot goes just behind my bottom foot, or maybe on top of that bottom foot. I'm trying not to rock my hips back. And then we come up. We come forward, turn in, knee drops down. Lifting up with that internal rotation, turn out at the top, bring the foot down with external rotation. Lifting up, bringing it forward, turning in, lifting up, turning out, lowering down. Lifting up, coming forward, turning in, lifting up, turning out, lowering down. One more. Lifting up, turning in, turning out, lowering down, and then come together. Then you're going to take your top leg and reach it out straight. Flex that foot, and you can look down the side of your body and see if your ankle and heel are more or less underneath your hips and are your ribs over your hips. You want to create one long line. Flex through that foot and reach through your heel so you helps create this nice long length through the spine and the waist. And keep that as you lift and lower. And just 5 of these. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Now I want you to hold where you feel some glute work. Kick your bottom leg forward and have a little bit of turnout. Then you're going to point your top leg and bring it to meet your bottom leg. So you have a little Pilates V there. If you want to, this is a nice place to practice that lift through. So I'm almost thinking about my elbow pulling towards my waistline there. So my shoulder connects right into there. My obliques are working on both sides. You could start here. You could use this hand as a little kickstand. Or again, you could keep your head down. So whatever works for you. Then we're going to lift this top leg up. We're going to flex the foot and kick forward. You're going to point and you're going to kick back. And you're working on your core stability as you're also moving your legs. Pull that leg back. Flex, kick forward, point, drag it, or pull it back with those hamstrings and glutes, right? Flex, kick forward, point, and pull it back. Stay really engaged in that bottom side. 1 more. And then you're going to bring the legs together. Bend the knees. Use that top hand to push into the mat to lift yourself up. Take a quick little side stretch to that bottom side. Take your hands behind you. Swing your legs around to the other side. Knees bent. Line up with the back edge of your mat. Hands on the hips to help you find your alignment. Lift your top leg up. Bring it forward. Turn it in. Lower down and up. Turning out. Bring that foot down. Lifting up. Turning in. Lifting up and turning out and down. And coming forward, turning in. This internal rotation in the lift is kind of really want to practice that because we sometimes miss that. And what happens is we don't get this little angle of the TFL as strong as we could. And sometimes that makes other things over tighten or over strengthen. And then we're going to straighten that leg out. Flex the foot, heel to head, right? You're reaching. I imagine my foot's on a wall and I keep that foot on the wall as I lift up. So I don't want to shorten. I want to keep that length and lower down for 1. And lift up and lower 2. And lift up and lower 3. This side I'm really containing my ribs. Lift up and lower. 2. Lift up and lower. 1. Then you're going to lift up where you feel some glute work. Take your hand on the mat, kick your bottom foot forward, and slightly turn out. Bring your top leg to meet it. Again, you could keep your head down, or you could come up onto that elbow. Shoulder shrugging into that waistline. Hand can be optional on the mat for a little support. Waistline is still long. Woo, I got to really lift that bottom waist. Now we're going to lift the leg, kick forward with a flexed foot, point, and drag the leg back. I'm using my hamstring and glutes to pull that leg back. Flex, kick forward, point, pull it back. Flex, kick forward, point, pulling it back. Flex, kick forward, point, pulling it back. Flex, kick forward, point, pulling back. One more. And then you're going to bring those legs together. Bend your knees, press with that top arm, and side bend. This is where I'm going to take some head support. So I'm going to put head support at one end of my mat. I'm going to sit. You can lay on your side and roll over if you've got back issues or a diastasis. I have a little diastasis, but I'm still going to roll down because that feels good for my body. So I'm going to sit with my knees bent, hands behind my legs. I'm going to roll back, allowing my pelvis to curl, slowly coming all the way down. Adjust so I have just enough support underneath my head. We're going to start with the legs straight. Now again, if your back is tight, you may want to start with your legs a little bent. You'll go as straight as you can without feeling the tension come into your back, right? So you just go as straight out as you can. And you're going to notice, do I want to be parallel with my toes and my kneecaps straight up towards the ceiling, or do I want to have heels together in a Pilates V? Whatever's right for you, you're going to pick that one. If I do Pilates V, I can really squeeze the inner thighs and wrap those outer hips. If I do parallel, I can really keep some space at my sacrum, pushing my legs down. Whatever works, that's where you want to go. You're going to interlace your hands behind your head. I know I use my head support, but I'm actually going to slide it away for this next part. I'm going to really make sure my neck and my head aren't doing the work for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to engage the legs, reaching them long, draw the belly in, and curl up, feeling your ribs push down into the mat. I'm using my legs, the weight of my legs to pull, so my pelvis is somewhat level and neutral there, and I'm pulling my belly back, and then you're going to go back. You got it. And then we're going to come up again. You're going to come up. 2. And exhale, 3. And exhale, 4. And 5. And 6. Just 2 more. Just waking up all of these connections from your legs and your hips all the way up to your abs. 8. Stay there. Slide your head support behind you. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, but keep your shoulders and your ribs grounded. Bend your knees. Wiggle if you need to. I always feel like I have to wiggle to get my ribs fully back, pelvis fully down. So get your back as comfortable and elongated on the mat. Prioritize that. Then negotiate, how much work is it going to be to stabilize there? Make sure your shoulders are relaxed so you're not pulling tension into your neck and jaw. From here, you're going to bring your feet together. You're going to lift your heels up. If you're up for it, you're going to do one leg, or if you prefer, the harder option, or the more challenging option, I should say, is to lift both legs at once. I don't care which one. I want you to listen to your body, prioritizing the stability of your back on the mat over anything else. So if you're ready, you lift both legs up, and what we're going to do is dying bug, which sounds very terrible, but basically you're going to do marching. So one foot will tap down and lift back up. Again, the leg could just go 2 inches down. It could go all the way down. You could just do this one leg at a time, but you're going to get your marching going, whatever variation it is for you. And then slowly, you're going to take your opposite arm away from the leg that reaches down. So if you're doing one leg at a time, you may just want to start with one side, so you're not having to switch sides each time. And reach and come up. Okay, I can feel. I need to wiggle and adjust. Keep going with that. Forgotten which side I'm on. Make sure that your throat, your neck, your head is nice and long. One more time each side. Keeping those ribs grounded. And then bring the feet towards your butt. Slowly bring them down with control and bring your arms down by your side. Then we're going to play with a single leg stretch, and we'll have a few options there. So we're going to pull the knees in towards the chest. And I want to pull in enough that you feel like you can grab your legs, but not so much that your whole butt curls under. So I want you to find your balance because you're still going to need some weight in your tail. Then you're going to push your shins into your hands, shoulders away from your ears. So even though you may or may not choose to lift your head up, you're going to get your shoulders on your rib cage. And I want you to feel, can you work your belly harder to pull a little bit deeper onto the mat, particularly the rib cage and maybe like the top of the pelvis. I can feel my SI joint is off today. So, you might notice things and it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. That's why we just keep moving. So if you're here and you've got this push-pull between your legs and your arms and it's helping you pull your belly back and this feels good, stay with this. If you want to, you use the leverage of your arms and legs to curl your head and chest up, shoulders still down. From there, you're going to hang on to one leg and pull that leg in, but you're still pushing the leg away, and the other leg stretches out, and then you just move. Head up or head down. The challenge is no rocking. I don't want to be rocking, right? Just getting this connection of getting your curl. So you've got this ab curl, holding it stable as you do this leg movement. So the leg is pulling you off center, and you just keep breathing, shoulders away from the ears, head up or down, whatever's right for you. And then hug both knees in. Take a moment there. If your head is up and you need to give it a break, give it a break. Then I want you to see, if head's up, keep it up. If head's down, take it down. You're going to reach your arms up. You're going to reach your legs up. Lower the legs to the place where you're like, I can keep everything down. Circle your arms around, bend your knees in for double leg stretch. Breathe in to the back body as you reach out. Exhale, sweep it around and come in. One more. Reaching and coming in. Then take your head down. Press your head a little bit back into the mat if it's been up. From here, you're going to hug your knees in. This time, really let everything curl in. Rock a little side to side, breathing into your back body. Then when you're ready, you're going to kind of rock up and down. And if your back does not allow, because of various reasons, you're going to roll to your side and come to sitting. But if your back does allow, you're going to see if you can start to get a little momentum and start to do like rolling, basically. Just see if you can roll right up to sitting. Yes, we could detail that for roll like a ball, but we're not going to worry about that. Once you're up to sitting, I want you to find a comfortable stance, which might mean you need to sit on something. So you might need to sit on a little booster seat. You might need to have your feet a little bit farther out or a little bit closer in. So I want you to figure out what's right for you. I do want you to find the whole foot down, toes, knees parallel, knees towards the ceiling, hands behind the legs. Sit up taller before you go anywhere. So pull with those arms to pull your pelvis upright, so you're on those sits bones. Your belly, your rib cage is pulling in, and you're getting taller as you begin to roll back, curling the butt under. You're going to go until your arms are straight, and you're going to pause there. That's different for everyone. Make sure, are you here? Maybe that feels good in your back, so let that feel good in your back for a second, and then let the shoulders drop. Pull your belly back, pull your rib cage back. I want you to think, my butt stays where it is for as long as possible as I begin to roll up, and you can use your arms to help, but I want you to imagine this lower part of your torso is stuck as you begin to roll forward. So you get this yawn from head to tail, and then of course it rolls, and then you stack up. Press into the feet, knees to the ceiling, grow taller before we roll back. Keep your length as you roll back. Rolling back, rolling back, rolling back. Stay there this time if you feel comfortable. Shoulders are easy. Pull the navel and ribs. Let the arms float off your legs. Parallel. Notice if your knees went out. Keep them parallel. Keep the arms parallel to the ground. Pull the rib cage back. Then slowly reach. Think my butt stays where it is for as long as possible as you roll forward. And then you stack up. We're going to play on this last one. So everyone's got their sweet spot for this next one. You do what's right for you. You're going to roll back. Grow taller. Forgot to say that. Roll back. Drop the shoulders. Pull the belly back. Extend the elbows. Shoulders are easy. From there, float the arms. So I'm not rolling back quite as far as the last one. Bring my feet a teeny bit closer to me. Exhale, bring one knee to the chest, but I didn't. Lift my back. I'm holding the shape of my spine with my abdominals as I do this, right? And then down. And breathing. I'm going to exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. One more time each side. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. See if you could lift one leg. Maybe you want to support the leg with the hand. That's fine. Shoulders are not your earrings. Lift the other leg up. Did you immediately bow your back, or can you keep your belly pulling back? Could you keep that shape of your spine? It's hard. And then bring the legs down. Cross the feet. And you're going to come back to your hands and knees. On your hands and knees. Remember to pad up the wrists or pad up the knees. From here, you are going to shift back. I like to take my knees back for where we're going, but I also need some mat space. So on your hands and knees, pad up wherever you need to. Push the ground away with your hands. Push the ground away with your shins. Pull your waist in as you shift back. Breathing there. Stretching, yawning. And then you're going to stay there and you're going to tuck your toes under, which you're going to have to lift up to tuck in. Look at your toes between your legs if you can. You know, sometimes we have stuff in the way. We can't always see that. But you could feel, you reach around and feel with your hands. I'm going to try and get my toes as centered as possible. I'm going to be active through my arms. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push through my arms. So I'm going to push down and engage, even though I'm kind of in this stretched position. I'm going to look between my hands. And we're going to use the push through our toes and our feet and the connection into our arms, right into our core, to pull ourselves forward. So you're going to breathe in, and on your exhale, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, out to plank. Inner thigh to inner thigh, pubic bone connected, waistline wrapping in, ribs lifting up. Breathe there. Rock 3 times on your toes, forward and back for 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down, stretch back, pulling the belly in, press through the arms, take a deep breath, toes are still tucked, and then pull forward. Try it fast, right? Rock 3 times on the feet. 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down. Push with those arms. Stretch back. Breathe deeply there. Pushing through those arms. Getting the tail to go back. Lifting the waist and the ribs. Think about the inner thighs kind of hugging towards each other. On your next exhale, you're going to catapult forward. Think combustion, right? You're going to look 3, 2, 1. Holding there. Rocking 3, 2, 1. Reach the heels back. Step the feet about shoulder width. Stay there. Press, lengthen. Now I want you to try and stay as center as possible with your body as you walk your hands towards your feet. Bend your knees when you need to. Take a moment there, take a little squat. I mean, not like a full deep squat unless you want to. Just a little bit. And then you're going to feel your feet. Notice if you're in your toes or your heels, you want to split the weight there. And you're going to push down to help engage your leg muscles so that your pelvis pulls upright. So it's not just your belly, it's also those hamstrings and glutes. Then you bring your ribs, your shoulders, your neck and head upright. And you're done for today. Great work. And until next time, keep moving.